I took this photograph a couple of months ago when I was having a stroll around Uphill. It's the River Axe, just as it goes out towards the beach, the estuary by Weston-super-Mare. You can just about see Brent Knoll in the background, and then we got this couple of nice boats here in the foreground and a lot of water to do some nice reflections of the sky into. So I was going to have a bash at this one today, so let's have a quick look at the materials. Always use the same colours in the same order. We've got ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey, alizarin crimson, raw sienna, burnt umber and light red. They're all Cotman watercolours, just squeezed out and let to dry on the palette. It's got me water jar, got me a large Ron Ranson hake and a couple of smaller brushes, and I'm using 15 by 11, but this time it's smooth, which means I normally use cold pressed, which is sort of halfway between rough and smooth. And the only reason I'm using this is because I've run out of cold pressed and I found a cheap pad in the local art store. So one last look at the photo and then I'll get cracking. I'm just going to take the large hake, 45mm on eBay if you can't find one, trying to find one. There are sellers on there who post worldwide, so you haven't got to live in the UK like me to get hold of them. The one at the bloke I bought, I think I paid about 8 to 9 quid for this one. But I know he posts worldwide, the one I got it from, so take a look on there if you're looking for a big brush. That was just raw sienna. I'm just going to go with a bit of ultramarine, a little bit of Payne's grey, and I'm going to try and sort of create a sense of light coming down the middle of the page. So I'm just sort of brushing it in from either side. Reload the brush. Just going to dip the very tip of the hairs into the water just to bring all the hairs together. You know, when the hairs start to split, the brush is getting too dry. And then I'm just brushing it in from either side, just like Bob Ross used to do with his oils. And you can get the same sort of effect. So we got. I'm going to introduce a little bit of alizarin crimson. I'll clean the brush and I'll just put a few little clouds in there. Now your horizon line is going to be about here, so I'm just going to bring some clouds right down to the bottom. And some obviously get smaller and smaller as they go further and further away. That's all I'm going to do for that. Yeah, it doesn't need any more than that. And the paper's stretched a little bit. If I was going to carry on doing the sky in the background and the well, pretty much, if I was going to carry on doing the sky, I'd just let it keep stretching. But I want to start doing the horizon line now, so I need it to be dry. So I'm just going to use the hairdryer. Back to the large brush. Now I haven't bothered cleaning it because I always do the most distant land elements using the same colours as the sky, so there's no need to clean the brush at this stage. I'm just going to try it. Now in the photograph Brent Knoll's about there, but what I might do is if I just move it over slightly, then I might have the boat in this lighter area there, so it stands out more. Move the boat to the left slightly, Brent Knoll to the right, just to balance it up a bit. So the horizon's about there. I'm just gonna, yeah, that's about right. About the right tone. Nice and faint because it's really far away. That's all I'm going to do for that. Now there are, I can't tell if they're like buildings or trees or I think they're, actually I can't tell what they are. I think they're trees in the photograph. So I'm just going to, or a mixture of both trees and buildings. So I'm just going to suggest like a few little trees there on the horizon. Might be the odd little farm and thing mixed in amongst them. Something else. Just being very delicate with the brush. Nice chisel edge. You don't want it coming off in big thick dollops because it's so far away. You want it nice and thin. Just making sure that's level. And there's also it's like the odd little like little, I don't know if they're telegraph poles or what they are. Just the odd little thing here that we in the distance. Now I'm going to clean the brush because I want to get back to a sort of greeny, a light greeny colour. So I'm just going to go raw sienna, a little lemon yellow, and more in front of this. And all I'm really doing here is just dabbing down, just pressing down. I've got chisel edge. Because it's so far away, I don't want to, just want to keep it nice and narrow at that distance. Constantly just trying to vary the colour. This is the bank, this right hand bank, it's going to come up to right there actually. So about there and then it'll swing round. So this is the grass on this right hand bank. I'm just trying to mix up the greens a little bit. Get a bit of variation. I'm not going to come too far down, and then once I'm slightly further, switch to the burnt umber just to make it look like mud. So I'm just going to go dip just the very tips of the brushes in just to loosen it all up. And introduce a strong element of brown into the mix, because that is now the muddy bank on this far side. And that's giving a lot of up to there. That's that far side done. Now let's do the other side. Now I've done the grass. So just in front of that, you've got that mud. I'm just dabbing very lightly. That's that far back. Now in front of that there's another little grass bank in front of that. So back to the greeny colours, so I'm just going to do a bit of raw sienna, a bit of lemon yellow. That's coming right up there. It's coming down to about there. Bit of burnt umber just to vary it up. Back to the green, back to the lemon yellow, raw sienna, burnt umber. And then again, back to the burnt umber to create the muddy banks. So, again, something like that. Get ultramarine. See all these little dips and dabs that don't get painted. It just looks like little bits of detail that just sort of appearing from nowhere. So just finishing off this mud, and it's right thick mud when you walk. You can't even walk right by the edge. You'll sink. There are sort of danger of death signs up, warning you not to try and cross this river. So I'm going to clean the brush and just finish off the bottom with a bit more grass. So with a clean brush, it's back into the lemon yellow, the raw sienna, ultramarine, back to the lemon yellow. Just constantly trying to vary it to keep it interesting. All the way down to the bottom. That's all that in there. So I'll finish with the height now. So I'm just going to pop the height into the water jar. I'm going to make sure that this paper's flat, so I'm just going to refix it with these clips on the right hand side. Then I'm going to switch to the flat brush to do the boat. So what I might use is switch to my flat brush. And then nice, and then I want to go, just need to make sure that it's dry, because I'm just going to put the mast will go up here, and so I need it to be dry. I'm going to take me flat brush and then the burnt umber, a bit of ultramarine, so I'm going to go something like putting a sort of rough shape of that post. A lot of little things at the front to stop people from falling in. sails go, something like that. Like a big. In fact, don't forget the reflections. Well, make sure it's the same colour. Just the reflection down there. And put the big mast in. Right up to that there, and don't forget the reflection and down there. And what I might do, just to finish it off, just a little figure. A little figure having a look. And again, don't forget a little reflection right below. And I'm just pressing down like dots. Just gives the effect of the wishy-washy water ripples and this, that and that. I think I'm pretty much finished with that. What I'm going to do now is pop my name in the corner. And pull that one through. So let's see what it looks like with the main side. So here it is with the mount on. So let's go and have a closer look. So looking back at the photograph, the sky, not too much happening in the sky. I've tried to make it a bit more interesting. We've got raw sienna straight down the middle, and then various mixes of ultramarine, Payne's grey and alizarin crimson. The alizarin crimson was used to do these little clouds, as you know, and obviously they get smaller and smaller as they go off over the horizon line. You can see the advantage of brushing the water area in at the same time as the sky, because you've got the same colour running all the way down the centre. And then you can see by doing it, keeping the paper wet while you brush this in. Remember, I was brushing it in from the side, this Payne's grey ultramarine mix. You can see how it just softens off and the two blend into one another really nicely. As opposed to if you let the paper dry, you end up with more sort of like this with hard edges, as opposed to the softer edges where the paper stayed wet. So the photograph, if you can see, I know all the reflections are a bit of a pain, but if you can just see the Brent Knoll there in the distance. I moved it from the central area just to the right, just to balance it up better with the boat. And then just use the sky colours just to put it in very, very light in tone because it's so far away. Next thing was this horizon line here. It's a mixture of trees and buildings. I've just put in the odd telegraph pole here and there just to try and create some sort of, give the impression that there's something happening there beyond. In front of that we've got these nice, just simple green fields there. Try to vary the greens as much as possible using raw sienna, lemon yellow, ultramarine, and then these little unpainted mist bits just add areas of interest. Then a bit of burnt umber just to create these muddy banks. A few more on this side. I never thought I could have gone in with the card, maybe scraped out a few rocks and stones, try and create a bit more, make it a bit more exciting. And then we've got our focal point, just a little boat here with someone standing in the front of it. Big mast going right up into the sky area. Not forgetting to put in the reflection just to help create that, give the impression of water with the reflections. I hope you like that. Thanks for watching. Keep practicing. Any questions please ask, and I'll see you again soon.